folks, Heather here, back out at the land. Eddie is working on a little project he's got going on the other side of the property. Um, Stay tuned on that. That'll be a while yet. But today we're just kind of out here at the piles we're going to have to deal with. So essentially, I think what we're gonna do to kind of take care of this and some of the other debris that we are going to be collecting, for example, these logs over here. So we want to try to use, there's this German gardening method called, I believe it's pronounced Hugel culture. We're going to try to use that method. I believe it means like hill culture or something to that effect in English, but essentially it's where you take a lot of, earthen materials, debris, and you put it into raised beds. Any material that will decompose. There she comes. And I think that's what we're going to do with a lot of it. And I really don't know how much of it I should rake up, but I am going to take some of the bigger logs and just kind of grow this mound. So yeah, that's what I'm going to try and get done today. It's something until we get our building here. So I'll try to get this. I didn't bring a tripod or anything, and it is quite windy, but I'll try to get the camera set up so you can watch a little bit of this cleanup. So a lot of this is going to need to go as well. So some of these pieces are pretty heavy. I feel like I haven't done much yet, but I also want to try to get this cacti or cactus, but I have to get something for that because it's still got thorns on it, as you can see there. Oh, it's windy. I'm having a hard time holding the camera. Some pieces are really dry. So as soon as I touch them, they fall apart, as you can see. So we have rakes and shovels. It'd really be nice if I had a wheelbarrow though. But like I said, we're just trying to get out and do a little bit. Careful, Mari. Gosh, you're so dirty, girl. Come on. So if you're wondering, when we first got Amari, she didn't listen really well. Um, she does pretty well now. She listens to my husband way better than she does me. But initially, like, trying to teach her to walk on a leash in the city was daunting, to say the least. I tried many things, like a gentle leader and like just different things for her. The best thing that I could have done was buy this collar, which we generally keep on beep or vibrate mode. And it just helps us out because she gets like super intense about whatever she's doing, and you can be calling her and yeah, she just doesn't listen. And I cannot keep her clean. Her city dog days are over. As soon as I give her a bath, she's just right back at it. It's so sad because she wants to sleep on the bed and like sit on the couch, and look at her. Just no way. Like, she's literally covered in sand and dirt. Okay, Mari. No more chewing on wood. Alright, as you can see, this little wood pile, I haven't amassed much, but I'm going to keep at it, and I'll check back in with you folks later. This pile of wood, we will use probably the larger pieces. We're either going to use in the, like, around the trails or kind of as a natural line. Or we will burn some of the other really, really dry pieces. At some point, Eddie pulled this cactus out, and I don't know if you can tell, but it still has some thorns on it. He pulled this out, and we do have quite a bit of this that's dead, that's kind of, we're trying to get out so that it doesn't come back. Ooh, fingers. So, yeah, I'm new at this. This tree will come eventually. So, yeah, just a little bit of an update. Still at it. So, yeah, Eddie's gonna have to clear some of this brush away from around the base of the tree so we can try to keep as many of our juniper trees and pine trees as we can. So I'm just putting all the wood here so that we're separating the wood out from the brush, because this is possibly can be burned. It's pretty dry though, so best bet may be just to use it for raised beds. So yeah, I'm just kind of moving pieces back and piling it up. So you might be wondering why on earth I decided to uproot my entire life, quitting my job, moving my family to an entirely different state, leaving an urban environment where accessing public goods and services and amenities and entertainment, it's just quite easy, to the complete other side of the spectrum where those types of things are scarce, or you really have to earn to come by them. And really, right about now, I'm asking myself those same questions. But life just really started to move really quite fast for me. And the pace was something that just became really difficult to manage. And I really kind of started to feel like I had little control over my choices, my time, and really what I wanted to put my effort in, I just felt like was always getting put on the back burner. And it was really starting to affect me just in terms of my contentedness with the way that my life had kind of panned out. And I just felt like I was coming to a point where I had to make a decision about the direction that I wanted my life to go, because I had a small window in terms of pivoting if that's what I wanted to do. Otherwise, I really needed to learn how to be content with my life the way that it was. And I really started to think and remember a time when my husband and I, not long after we had first met, we had gone to Iowa to help a friend on 86 acres of land. And they had a cow-calf herd and soybeans and corn. And it was kind of out in the middle of nowhere in Iowa with limited internet connection. And we worked tirelessly the entire time that we were there, just hauling off a lot of junk, cutting down like a lot of overgrown fields, learning how to manage the herd. And I can remember us being really exhausted and kind of falling into bed at the end of the night. But in any moment, or at any moment when we would have time or energy or, just the inclination, we would jump on the side-by-side and we would go out into the field and we would just enjoy the afternoon or the evening. And there was just something so pure and peaceful about it, in addition to just the connectedness that I felt, not only to my husband, but also to the environment, the land, the animals. And it just was really a time that I looked upon fondly. And I just started to think, what if I could have that? What if I could live that life? And the idea just grew. And here I am. So today I thought that I would show you what Eddie has been working on at the place that we're actually staying at. Luckily, it's down the road from our land, so we're close by. So as you can see, this is an observation deck. It's made primarily with used materials, windows, and also a door, cold lumber, which has been quite interesting. He's had to learn how to make do with the resources that he has, and he's become quite adept at making it work. I think it looks really lovely. I like the rustic feel. It's got some stairs here along the side, and going down the stairs to the bottom, underneath the decking, you have a doorway that leads to a cistern, which is really quite nice. And then he's also been working on an outdoor restroom. It's really not finished, but I want to go ahead and kind of walk you over, take you in, and kind of have a little peek. He's already put the wood on the walls, and he has done the tile in the shower and the closet door. He's also put in, as you can see, the toilet and the sink area. The floor has been painted, and it has a really nice resin seal. There's also a box around the tub with hinges for access in case there's a leak. And he's included this really cool fold-down table over the tub for laundry, for the future stackable washer and dryer that they plan to add. I'm really proud of what he's been able to accomplish, and I can't wait to see what he's going to do when we get out to the land full time. So it's going to be a lot of fun to really kind of learn from him. I hope he's going to be willing to show me. I'm sure it's going to require some patience. So the next day I decided it would be a good time to go ahead and cleanse and reset my space. Normally, in addition to doing my altar space, I will also do a floor wash and do a cleanse of the entire house, including all doorways, entryways, windows, things of that nature. So I personally am not a religious person, though I was raised Catholic. However, I am a spiritual person, and I use this space to do manifestation work, intention setting. I do my Reiki distance healing here, along with my, filming my Reiki ASMR videos for my Holistic Arts with Heather channel. Towards the end of this clip, you'll notice there's a tall box. I'm working on a collective Reiki healing box. So if you're interested in that, you can follow me on Instagram or my other channel. So in this space, I have my own personal Reiki healing box. I think you saw that at the beginning. I also keep a lot of herbs here, in addition to some resins, copal, frankincense, myrrh. I have some camphor and some eggshells that were given to me by a bruja I knew in Texas. And I have a lot of candle tools here, candle carving tools, a wick cutter, in addition to a candle snuffer. I have some crystals, which I guess is maybe modest by most people's standards, but I do have some crystals that I use in my practice. With manifestation work and card reading, which I also do in this space, and distance Reiki healing sessions, comes a lot of tools. They are not necessary. You really don't need anything outside of yourself and your own visualization capabilities and your own ability to serve as a conduit and channel for another person's healing. But over the years, I've collected quite a bit, things that were gifted to me. I inherited quite a bit from my mother, who was a collector, and I also really enjoy thrift shopping. So I try not to buy anything new, but I still do have quite a lot, And this is really only a quarter of it because there's so much of it still in storage. I'm also going to go ahead and clean out my cauldron, which is where I do a lot of my incense and herb burning. I generally don't like charcoal discs, but I do burn resin, usually in candles, but from time to time I will burn them on herbs. So I like to keep this and use this in ceremony, or perhaps even to make black salt, which is a really nice thing to have for protection. Oftentimes, I will burn candles on sand or salt, so I would use it in that manner. A bit later in the clip, I'll do a card pull for the collective so that you have a focus for your week ahead. I'll keep some things about this cleanse and reset to myself, but if you do have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments down below. spent hours exploring Hanoi, Vietnam by foot when I lived there. Once, I discovered a stack of dusty used books piled on the bottom shelf of a trendy expat bookstore. Their binding was hidden in shadow under a snail's shell. It was there, crouched down in a fetal position, that I read Thich Nhat Hanh's words for the first time. Freedom is not given to us by anyone. We must cultivate it ourselves. It is a daily practice. No one can prevent you from being aware of each step you take or each breath in and breath out. Reading How to Walk and Peace in Every Step led me on a path toward reclamation, toward the recovery of my essence and a new accountability for it. I learned the necessity of reconnection to the earth, my body, life force, and flow. I came to understand that the unification of my mind and body would bring me closer to real presence and expansion, that to lose connection to earth, to my essence, would lead to dis-ease and a life of living dead. For one cannot exist without the other, Han said. Body and mind are one. This is the only way to live in full gratitude and awareness of the present moment, at least as far as I can tell this far. It is a practice that Han understood. He, along with a select few, seemed to get the secret. They seemed to get what it means to live a soulful and robust life. It is a practice, and I'm practicing daily. Meditative walking, as it's described in How to Walk, helped me find connection, rootedness. It helped me find home. The truth is that we exist in holy communion with the earth. We are unified in our sacredness. Holding true reverence as we walk the earth honors the sacred within us. I'm not a scientist, and I cannot fully explain this interconnected relationship. But what I do know is that when I take my shoes off and I walk the earth, my inner being radiates with energy. I'm rejuvenated, reminded of my vitality, and I'm ready to take on whatever comes my way. These days, I spend more time in nature and find myself seeking ways to ensure I honor the sacredness of earth and the energies that inhabit it. But society does not reward the impetus within us to rewild or live slowly. It is almost an act of rebellion to live an intentional life that nourishes your soul. I think I, like many these days, are navigating this path. I left behind what some would consider a very secure and stable life in Texas to forge a new path that is, yes, purpose-driven, and it honors my spirit, but it's paved with uncertainty and doubt from time to time. But seeing this dream coming to fruition and being this close to nature, I cannot help but be reminded by the motivation that brought me here to this life. Han was right. Freedom is not given to us by anyone. We must practice presence daily to live free from suffering, to be unafraid, to take the uncertain path, especially if it's one that leads us to wellness of mind, body, and spirit. I'd like to read a poem to you that I've been working on. It's untitled this far, but I definitely was inspired by Han's teachings. I hope you enjoy it. I'm everywhere and nowhere solid. Footing eludes me. When my compulsive thinking grabs hold, uproots me, my mind runs, traversing the same ground, nearing the same drowning pool, its familiar edges almost alluring. The deep end flow toward attention and knowing astounds me, so much so I find myself envying the way the birds just know how to exist, just know their song from the moment it's expressed, how to embrace the wind and soar. Everything else, all that should be simple, weighs so heavily. Just let go, the soul whispers, and every wonder that graces my senses, and every step that takes me deeper inside the earth, inside her core resonances. Someone once said, the earth's frequency is like sitting inside a ringing bell. This resonance vibrates in synchronicity with our heartbeat. If we're still, we may hear the earth's hum within our core.